Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at an article on the Daily Caller titled "White Candidate for DNC Chair Says Her Job Will Be to Shut Other White People Down." Now, as the article also has a video, I thought we would have a look at the video first.
The Democratic Party has the opportunity to do something different.
I thought I'd pause this here because I get the feeling that's going to come back to bite her in the ass with what she says next.
We have the opportunity to really confront the fact that we have not been in alignment with our values. We've been talking a lot of smack. We need to make sure that our actions and our words and our values all match. And around the issue of race, we are so far out of alignment, I don't even know the way back.
Sarcastic comment inbound. The only way back is to revoke all the rights of all those people of colour. But in all seriousness, you mentioned not being in alignment with your values, the Democratic Party's values. So I'm going to quickly have a look at the Democrats.org party. There are several core beliefs that tie our party together. Democrats believe that we're greater together than we are on our own. That this country succeeds when everyone gets a fair shot, everyone does their fair share, and everyone plays by the same rules. Does that not sound a little different to the direction you're going to go with regards to race?
And that tells me that white leaders in our party have failed.
Wasn't your last leader black, or at least half black? Should we be blaming half of him for not doing right by the Democratic Party?
I'm a white woman. I don't get it.
I think you do get it. But the difference between what you get and what you're told you don't get is that whole lived experience taking precedent over fact. Something which I don't think you have any grasp of.
And I am from Idaho. We are so white. So white.
It's hardly a surprise when the two largest ancestry groups in Idaho are English and German. Now that said, 27.2% of Idaho's children under the age of 1 belong to a racial or ethnic minority group, meaning that that child has at least one parent who is not non-Hispanic white. Give it a few generations and you'll have your multiracial dream. You can stop being ashamed of being white then.
And my job is to shut other white people down when they want to interrupt. My job is to shut other white people down when they want to say, oh no, I'm not prejudiced. I'm a Democrat. I'm accepting.
I do hope you're not trying to play off on the idea that all white people harbour prejudice and internalized racism towards people of colour. It is counterproductive to your party and damaging to your party's reputation, as if the last election wasn't proof enough.
I am talking to people of colour because you have the answers. You can tell me, as a leader, what I need to do.
That kind of mentality worked out so well for Bernie Sanders in Seattle. Now, you really shouldn't be on that stage playing identity politics. And I'm almost certain trying to use white guilt to get white people to shut up is going to backfire magnificently, like identity politics hasn't failed you all before.
Sally at wethednc.org, I need schooling so that I can go school the other white people. We need it.
In this instance, Sally, if you want to win that seat, I would recommend you do none of that. Especially the schooling. Don't school people, eventually someone's going to backhand you for it. Now I have a couple of questions for you. Number 1, if you get into the final rounds of debates and you're up against a person of colour, are you going to step down because they, as a person of colour, should be listened to, and surely that would mean you, the white woman, should surely step away, let them win, and have the power they've been denied because they haven't had it for ages. And 2, if, like Bernie Sanders had done to him, someone storms the stage, are you just going to give it up if they are a person of colour? Oh, and I have a third question. When will the DNC stop playing identity politics and focus on the real issues that have left a large number of the voters feeling like their party no longer represents them, i.e. the white workers? Something which Joe Biden himself has said.
Working class people who were poor, people who were in real difficulty. And so what happened is that person making between, works in the guy works on the line, the woman's a waitress, they're making $90,000 a year, and they still can't make it if they have 2 kids. And we don't talk to them anymore. We don't associate with their difficulty anymore, and it's almost like somehow they're in good shape, but they're not.
Someone needs to tell Joe Biden about white privilege because he has it in abundance, based on Sally's logic anyway. Now, while that particular quote is with regards to the economy and working class people, it was actually in context with the number of white people voting Democrat going down in Pennsylvania. And the reason why is because the Democratic Party does not speak for them anymore. They are being ignored because the Democratic Party is, for some odd reason, is allowing people to play identity politics in the progressive states, and it's ostracizing the core voters. And yes, the majority of voters are white in America, but do you think it's a good idea to guilt them into voting a particular way just because minorities are going to be left behind? It's not about leaving anyone behind. You are the ones treating people differently, and it's cost you an election.
It makes me sad that we're even having that conversation, and that tells me that white leaders in our party have failed. We have to accept that there is prejudice that exists within our own party, and we have to be able to have that conversation.
I think you should. That's a great idea. Then take it upon yourselves to talk about the constant virtue signaling for black people. How about you just treat them the same as you treat everyone else, rather than singling them out because of a few statistics that you've misinterpreted? Anytime you take it upon yourselves to elevate one group over another and then use some bogus idea from misinterpreted numbers to somehow validate what you think, you weaken your party, because everyone else with more brain cells than you, which appears to be 2, has noticed your bullshit and is spreading it all over the internet, under the guise of what you would call harassment, the rest of us just call calling bullshit.
Every single system in our party is designed to give power back to the people, all people, but especially those people who have been disenfranchised in our country since our country started.
Not according to the Democrat Party website. According to the website, it's about working together, not elevating one group over another, because that's identity politics, and that snarky little remark at the end is proof of your white guilt. You need to banish it, because it does you no favors. How many times do I have to say this?
Like, I have been reaching out and trying to connect to anybody of color that I can find to be honest with me. I am not a politician. I am a human being trying to do good work, and I can't do it without y'all. So please, please, please get a hold of me, Sally at wethednc.org. I need schooling, and I depend on you and the people around our community to do that so that I can go school the other white people. We need it.
Thank you. All right.
Slightly off topic for a moment, but do you think the people behind her, the people of colour behind her, are sitting there thinking to themselves, oh, she's fucked when she gets into the next round, because we're going to just pull out the race card and she's going to bend over? Or do you think they're thinking, damn, this is cringy, and I have to be stuck behind her while the camera's on me? Okay, so there are bits of that video missing, but they are mentioned in the article, so I want to quickly read those. Brown began her 3-minute pitch by chiding white Democratic leaders over what she said is the party's failure to discuss the Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter, and it makes me sad that we're even having that conversation, and that tells me that white leaders in our party have failed. Among other jobs she said she will undertake as DNC chair is making sure that white people get that they have privilege. While you were busy attacking the white leaders of the Democratic Party, did you forget that President Obama invited members of the Black Lives Matter movement to the White House? That's going to look so damn good in the history books. Yeah, associating President Obama with a domestic terrorist group. Now, a few days later, she actually tweeted out, so apparently I hit a nerve? Was it something I said? Hashtag speak the truth. Hashtag invisible we stand. Based on what she has already said, I don't think I can add any comment that could further improve upon the hole that she's already dug for herself. Now, just before we finish this video, which has been a bit of a weird one because I wanted to focus more on the article, but the video was pretty damn good and damning evidence when she eventually gets called out for this in the future. Of the 6 people running for the DNC chair position, who do you think will win? Because I'm very interested to see who people think will win. Thank you all for listening.
Should I put this in like a really Scouse accent? I really feel it's to prove it.
You should definitely do some of this in that, yes.
I felt dizzy.
God.
I held him tight as he did me, trying to get through what was painful, and he whispered in my ear, "Take it like a good girl, Miss James." And I did. Gray picked my body up with his tentacles and walked me over to his desk and bent me over face first, with my tits hanging off one side and my arse on the other, with him standing in front of me. Stop it! You're making me laugh. With him standing in front of me, his dick right in front of my pouting mouth, one of his tentacles slid slowly down my sensitive back and then pushed apart my perfect butt cheeks. And just as the tentacles entered my pussy again, Gray started his hard tool in my mouth. Grabbing my hair, he started to fuck it. As the Gray sucked... Stop it.